Before there was time, before there was anything, there was nothing. And before there was nothing, there were monsters.
I have seen evil. I have heard evil. I think I have even felt evil. In media, it varies from instance to instance. Sometimes it is a force, a push of nature that is required to maintain the balance of life, the quote-unquote status quo. And other times it is inhumane, immoral, and psychotic actions of characters. But in all instances, it is nothing but evil. Hey, my name is Leroy of the North, or the Spartan Samurai if you know me from Insta, and I will try to be your guide for any form of storytelling media, whether it be a comic, an anime, a manhwa, or that one show that everyone has seemed to have forgotten about. I will try and cover it in a hopefully calm and concise manner. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, a like, a comment, or hitting that subscribe button is always highly appreciated. Like the 200 of y'all who pushed the subscribe button to move me from 500 subscribers to a whopping 700 subscribers. This means the absolute world to me. It will mean more than you guys will ever know. But I'll save all this glaze for you guys for the end of the video. But until then, let's cover the evil shown to us in different forms of media and the absolute sickos who portrayed this trait on screen, with our first branch of media being anime.
What do you do when there is an evil you cannot defeat by just means? Do you stain your hands with evil to destroy evil? Or do you remain steadfastly just and righteous even if it means surrendering to evil? In my case, I commit evil to destroy the greater evil!
Anime has a lot of evil characters. There's classics like Frieza from Dragon Ball, Johann Liebert from Monster, Griffith from Berserk, and Light from Death Note. Or newer gen villains like One for All from My Hero Academia, Muzan from Demon Slayer, Kaiju number 9 from Kaiju number 8, and the person who decided to give T-Bit adaptation to Studio ACAT. But nevertheless, anime as a medium has a lot of characters to analyze and assess when delving into this topic. But no character on this list I think has such an influence on not only the medium, but specifically on me, than the one, the only, Lelouch V Britania.
Lelouch VIbritannia commands you. Obey me, subjects! Obey me, world! All hail Lelouch!
The exiled prince from Code Geass is one of the most layered portrayals of moral decay in all of anime. At the beginning, we're drawn in by his charm, his intelligence, and the burning need for vengeance against an empire that took almost everything away from him. It makes him easy to support, as not only the protagonist, but his character itself attempts to embody the characteristics of the ideal heroes. Attributes like freedom, equality, and the fact that he is running against a set of tyrannical rulers make you think that he is in the right. But as the story unfolds, something subtle starts to shift. His enemies get broader, his rules looser, his hands bloodier. And the more power he gets, the more he convinces himself that this is the path to peace. Lelouch starts with the moral high ground, don't get it twisted. But over time, he builds an empire of lies, an empire of surveillance, of mass murder. He becomes the absolute antithesis of his prime objective. The genius of Lelouch's story is that he is not insane. He's rational, so rational that it becomes a fault. That's what makes him so dangerous. He believes in the ideal of necessary evil. And what makes this factor so terrifying is that we understand him, or at least I think I do. He thinks he can control evil, wields it like a scalpel or some form of weapon. But that's not how evil works. It stains everything, it corrupts everything, it possesses everything. By the end of Code Geass, Lelouch is both savior and dictator, liberator and oppressor, king and peasant. Evil here isn't snarling, it's noble, it's calm, and dressed in good intentions. But it is evil nonetheless. But at the very least, Lelouch's primal intentions were originally somewhat pure. So what happens when you have a character that starts off with evil intentions and stays on that path? For that, my friend, we must take a trip to the West to take a peek at Adventure Time's most menacing villain, the Lich. Though a man in the sense of the living, the Lich has no humanity. In fact, he attempts to disregard it in the hopes of being a pseudo-interpretation of chaos. This is his main appeal in a sense. Now, if you have never seen Adventure Time, which if that is the case, why are you here? Go watch it. The basic things you need to know is it's a post-apocalyptic fantasy series wearing the skin of a Saturday morning cartoon. It starts off with light and zany dogs talking, magical candy kingdoms, colorful characters, but beneath all that sugar-coated surface is a ruined earth devastated by war, riddled with traumatic characters, and haunted by the remains of older, darker things. The Lich is one of Adventure Time's great evils, a towering skeletal figure with hollow eyes and a whispering voice that infects everything around it. Whenever he enters a scene, the tone collapses, the colors desaturate, the music cuts out, and even the most powerful characters are seemingly paralyzed by fear. But here's what's important, and something I feel lots of people forget when covering the Lich. The Lich is not death. He's not a force. He's not a god. He's a creature. A cursed thing born from destruction and black magic that now obsesses over becoming what destroyed the world in the first place. He doesn't need to kill. He wants to. He wants to become the embodiment of annihilation. He wants to transcend individuality, to erase not just life, but the very concept. And I think there's something kind of tragic in that. Not in the sense that I feel tragic for the Lich, but I feel tragic for his situation. Because no matter how powerful he becomes, the Lich is still tethered to form. He speaks, he monologues, he gets angry. He's bound to a body and his own sense of emotions like any mortal. And more than once, he's defeated, sealed, shattered and reborn, but he keeps coming back. And that's what makes his portrayal of evil so interesting. He acts as a force of nature without actually being one, and as a result, it factors into his belief that he needs to become the end of all things. And that's what will become his golden ticket into becoming a said force of nature. But as a result, he ends up committing cruel and vindictive actions, not out of malice, but out of self-validation.
Fall. You are alone. child. There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. These ancients are just the beginning. I will command a great and terrible army, and we will sail to 1 billion worlds. We will sail until every light has been extinguished. You are strong, child, but I am beyond strength. I am the end.
This last person on my list is a personal choice. So personal that in the first time of all my YouTube career, I'm not going to use a script. Oswald Cobb. My hatred for this man is something no one will ever truly be able to fathom. He is a conniving, scheming, treacherous rat who plans for power and does anything to obtain it. We see this when he locks his brothers in a sewer to drown just because he wanted his mother's love all to himself. When he not only betrays a member of his own criminal ring in Sophia Falcone by telling her father Carmine Falcone that she talked to the cops, leading her to being abused and sent to Arkham, he ends up betraying that same criminal enterprise with Carmine Falcone to the Maroni family. And then he also betrays the Maroni family to start his own criminal empire. And get this, he ends up betraying those new employees of his criminal empire by using them as human shields just to escape a bomb that was meant for him. But the piece of resistance isn't these statements that I've said, it's the one that I'm about to say. He ends up betraying his own protege, Victor, an innocent citizen who he molded into a criminal and then forced him to launder, kill, and mutilate bodies all for his own need, was the same person that Oswald Cobb ends up killing in a park, looting his body, and then throwing his dead body into a river. Oswald is not a tragic villain. He's not a broken soul looking for any type of redemption. He's not a cautionary tale about bullying or body shaming or any type of cruelty. That's a lie. It's a good one, but I can guarantee you it is a lie. What he is a greasy, self-serving, manipulative bottom feeder. The kind of man who doesn't just profit off suffering. He uses it, he manufactures it, he nurtures off it, and he uses it to build his own empire just for himself. And that's it. Those are some of my favorite personifications of evil in varying forms of storytelling media. Yes, I know some of the choices there are very basic, but the 3 characters that I selected were all going to get solo videos, and I kind of feel like I couldn't really squeeze them out, so I wanted to combine them into one. I know there are way better choices out there. I really want to hear some, because honestly I was having quite a hard time finding some evil characters. So if you guys have any, feel free to tell me in the comments below. I would love to hear them, especially some of y'all who have been giving me amazing recommendations from my last video, which I'm so thankful for you guys absolutely blowing that shit out. At the time of me recording it, this video, the fighters video, had 8k views. That's my second highest amount of viewers on any video, and even that, it absolutely blows my mind. I just want to say thank you guys all, especially all the people who subscribed. Y'all moved me up 200 subscribers. That actually changed my life. I have to try and be more consistent, but I really want to hear from you guys. Are there any more shows? I'm currently trying to get into Kagurabachi because a lot of you guys were saying that. Keegan Ashura, that was there a lot. Ashita no Joe, I really need to complete that. I'm still binge watching that. But until then, I really want to hear from y'all. Keep the commissions in the comments going, because I love seeing that. That's honestly the only way I can get into new shows. But until I'm able to make a video on them, I guess this is going to be the end of this video. So thank you guys so much. And as always,
now listen to me, boys. Always remember these words. Work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. That is the Turtle Hermit way.